Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the evolution of the Fox Scoreboard. This is another television scoreboard, and we're just going to be kind of looking through the years. What has Fox done? They did lose all those regional teams back in 2021 to Bally Sports, but what have they done when it comes to their scoreboard? I'm going to be grading these. Which one do I like? Which one's my favorite? All of the analysis. So when it comes to Fox and my very in-depth research, back in 2008, 2009, every single year, they would come out with a new scoreboard until 2014. There would always be a big change. So this is 2008. You can see it's pretty retro. That was only used for a year. I don't think it was used in 2007, just 2008. And honestly, I think they could modernize it, make it a little bit better. I don't like when a scoreboard takes up the entire, area of the screen, like horizontal-wise. So that's a big pet peeve, and they've since changed that. That was like something that was big back in the 2010s. But you know what? Bally Sports is still doing it. And I just saw opening day MLB, and guess what? Bally Sports, they haven't changed anything, but how could they? They have no employees. They're bankrupt. But getting back to Fox, the 2008 one, we would like some logos. But overall, I don't think it's terrible. I like the font of it. Looking at the 2009 one, this one very similar to the NFL on Fox one. This was the 2009 MLB one. It certainly lacks overall color. I think if they just would have added the team color within their little quadrant, that would definitely make that a tier 1 or maybe a tier 2 scoreboard. I still don't like that it takes up the entire upper area in terms of it being horizontal, but that is the one used in 2009. Moving to 2010, they go to the small box look in the upper left-hand corner. Very compact, very boring to me though. I like the overall way it's, put out, and I like the overall way it's shown, but it is just the no logo, the overall computerness look to it. I don't love it. I would probably say that's pretty average in my opinion, just looking at it. And then they do have the ALNL. So this is a fun thing that Fox does when there's like an all-star game or when it was the 4th of July. When the bases were, filled in, like there's a runner on first base, they would do it with stars. So that's just something fun that you really don't see that, especially, with Bally Sports or with these other regional like Root Sports, AT&T, whatever it is. You don't see that. So that's just something creative that I do like. But that was the one in 2010. Moving to 2011. So this is when it starts to get better for Fox. I like this. It's not perfect. In 2012, they made it perfect. But this was in 2011. And overall, again, I like it, but it can be perfected by changing the logos, and that's exactly what they did in 2012. I think this is probably the best one they've had. I know people will say it kind of looks weird because you have the 3 separate quadrants. You have the inning, you have the base runners, and you have the count and the outs, and then on both sides you have the score. It might be a little bit too much for some people, but this was my favorite one by far. I just like the way it looks. I like the character. It has the color of the team in the background, and then it has the logo up front. And look at that. I actually found an image right there, but I was looking through different games on YouTube. That's Clayton Kershaw pitching at Safeco Field, which is now T-Mobile Park. That's got to be a 1 in a million. Clayton Kershaw pitching in Seattle. But yeah, this was probably my favorite Fox scoreboard. If they went back to this, I would be completely fine with it. Then in 2013, they change again. They go to a little bit more compact one. I have nothing wrong with this. Now you're talking about, I will say, all right, the fatal flaw on the 2012 one, there's no pitch count. You would have to, certainly nowadays, you would have to add the pitch count. That's not even a question. That's kind of like one of the big things with the scoreboards. That's one of the key features now. It is the pitch count, and you can see in 2013 they do incorporate it right under the bases. This is a solid one. I would give this a B. I would like to see the logos. If they made it a little bit bigger and incorporated the logos somehow, I think it would be better. But this is one of their better ones, I'll say. And it was only used for 1 year again. It was only used in 2013 from what I found. And then finally in 2014, Fox finds an official scoreboard that they used for 3 straight years, 2014 all the way up to 2017. They used this. They moved it to the bottom left. And I mean, I like it. You know, it's not perfect. It's kind of like the last one we just saw. I actually think the last one was better, if I'm being honest. I just like the graphics of it a little bit better, the way it worked. But this is the one that they stuck with for 3 years, and I do believe they ended up moving it to the right side, or did they not do that? Oh yeah, they ended up moving it in 2017 to the right side. They also made one change in 2015. You can see as they're evolving, we're starting to get more and more information. You're getting the batter now coming into it, and you can see, you know, Adrian Beltre there listed with kind of a white background, which, I mean, I don't think it's really necessary. I don't know why they made, you know, his background color different, you know, but that is another change that they made. So we see, you know, Adrian Beltre 1 for 4 in this game, whatever you want to say. That's kind of how they changed it. His batting average, I think that was probably his batting average in the playoffs, if I had to guess. But you can see how they're evolving and adding more stuff. Tyler Naquin 1 for 3 in that game. That's kind of what they did. And then you can see they moved it over in 2017. And then in 2018, they kind of went with like a Windows 11 type situation with this one. So I think that is the official Windows, you know, font. I feel like that's what it is. It just looks like it. But this was a good one, definitely. If they would have added the logos in, and it could have been done right next to the abbreviations, just add the logos, I would give this probably an A+. They didn't do it. And to me, I mean, you know, it knocks it down a little bit. But this is like an A- to me. It's a very good scoreboard. And this got significant usage as well. It got used throughout the 2021 Pandemic World Series between the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays. So you can just see, I think I got some screenshots, the Dodgers Red Sox. That's crazy that World Series actually happened, Dodgers Red Sox. But yeah, that's great for ratings for sure. You can see it looks vibrant, it looks good there. And then you had the Pandemic World Series in 2020, which was, so 2020 was the last year this was used then. Because the Pandemic World Series was in 2020, not 2021. All right, that makes sense. And then I think this was also used in 2021. And then in 2022, they debuted their new scoreboard, which, you know, unfortunately, the way it worked out, this is technically pretty rare because we were used to having so many different games on Fox because Fox had all the regional teams. But now with, you know, Bally Sports for the 3rd straight year having a lot of these regional teams, I think they have the rights to 14 teams, although they are going bankrupt, so they might start losing some of those. We'll see. The MLB Network might start having to show some of those games, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to that. If you look at the MLB Network scoreboard, it's just so outdated, and they still haven't updated it. But guys, when it comes to this most recent, this is the official scoreboard that Fox uses. Oh, I love it. I think it's great. It's vibrant. We saw it during the World Baseball Classic. You've got the colors. You've got the logos. You've got the abbreviations. The one thing, the bases are a little bit obnoxious. I won't lie on that. They are obnoxious, but to me, this is the second best Fox scoreboard that we've seen for the MLB, behind only the one from 2012. And just looking back on the one from 2012, it would have to be modernized. They would have to add the pitcher. You could easily add that kind of as a drop-down thing. And they would also have to add the hitter. You know, is the hitter batting 360? Is he 1 for 3 on the game? Whatever. People love to see that. You'd have to add the pitch count and the hitter. You could very easily add the pitcher kind of on top and the hitter on the bottom. That's what I'm thinking. But, you know, that's not going to be happening, obviously. I'm just saying I like that scoreboard, and I think it could be used in modern times if it got an update. But either way, that's just kind of the evolution of the Fox scoreboard. Really, I can't see... Fox does a good job on their scoreboards, I'm not going to lie. The only ones I can say that were kind of... Like this one, the one from 2011... I mean, that font is obnoxious. It's too big. It just looks really ugly. But I like the overall scoreboard. Just the font is really bad with the letters in there. And then I would also say the one from 2009 is very bland. It's very computerish. But pretty much all of these are good. I mean, legitimately, if we went through another network, like if I did ESPN Monday Night Football, I feel like it'd be a train wreck. So for Fox, I will say the one thing I don't like about Fox is their college football scoreboard. Very bland, and I'm surprised that it's that bad, but that's different. That's college football. We're just focusing on the MLB and the most recent one that they have used. And again, we saw this during the during the World Baseball Classic. And it looked just so vibrant with the country's colors and things like that and kind of the flags in the background. I thought it looked really good. And I also like the font when you're looking at the players like Jason Adam, Ronald Acuna Jr. You can see the font of it. Yes, again, the bases are a little obnoxious. We don't need the 3D look. I think that's kind of kiddish. But other than that, it is a good scoreboard. I would rank it number 2 behind the one from 2012, but the one from 2012 would need an update. And then I would say third on my list would be the one that was used just before this back in 2017, 2018, that kind of resembles almost a Windows 11 or a Windows 12 type vibe. So guys, that is going to do it for this video on the Fox scoreboard situation. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.